companies don't give a shit about their workers anymore.
Corporations, big companies, like, they don't care.
No.
It's all about the money.
Exactly.
You're saying it to tick a box.
To be inclusive, yeah.
When it comes to it, you're not doing it.
I started driving my van, having a stroke. Started losing my vision and everything. And then I ended up in hospital. Next day, phone call. When's Chris coming back to site?
Wow.
Next day.
And now I'm happier than I feel that I've ever been in my life.
I mean, what is happiness to you?
The Untold Podcast is proudly sponsored by Aura Surfaces, specialists in luxury surfaces for extraordinary spaces. Like creating dream homes, building a dream life takes work. That's why we had to get behind this podcast. Real stories, real challenges, and real success. Let's get into it. We see so many influencers that, and I know influencers that, yeah, they've got a Lambo, yeah, they've got a Ferrari, yeah, they've got this, they're doing this, they're traveling the world and stuff, but they're not happy.
No.
And what I've learned over the last sort of 12 months is that we are only human being. It don't matter if you are extremely wealthy and people think they've got amazing, they've got the big house, they've got that. Guarantee those people, look at the celebrities. Look at all the ones that unfortunately take their own lives. And you think, why would you do that? And it's all in here. The brain is too powerful. It is so powerful that you've got to learn to control it.
It's tricky, right? Because your brain is actually just trying to figure out what it is you're feeling. You could wake up in the morning pissed off and you've got no idea why, and your brain is trying to figure out why you're feeling like that. And all it's got to go by is what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and what is going on with your hormones and your tenseness of your muscles and all shit like that. What your brain is unable to do is actually conceptualize everything that's going on. So what it starts doing is thinking of times you felt like that previously, and then you start drudging up old memories where you felt shit in the past, which actually gets worse.
Yeah. I struggled for years, well, probably until about 2 years ago. I always used to just think, what is happiness? What makes you happy? And I always used to look at everybody else, like you just said, with the Lambos, with the nice big houses and all the money, and they're going out every weekend and they're going on holidays. And I used to think, I need to get that to become happy. And that's what I tried to get so many times, but by rushing everything and just trying to grab as much money as I possibly could by just doing anything to get there. And it doesn't make you happy. Like, I've been more happy in the last 2 years than I've ever been in my entire life. And nothing's really changed other than the fact I've started to appreciate what I've got around me.
Yeah.
I think that is what, I mean, I asked you the other day, what is success to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
I mean, what is happiness to you?
Yeah. That's a great question. Go on. What was success to you, Ash?
Time. So I was talking to someone the other day about this. Working hard enough and working clever enough to be able to charge enough for my time when I'm working, to be able to buy time back off myself when I don't want to work. Like, success for me and happiness for me, I was very similar to you. Like, now I'm an optimist. I've got aspirations and I've got goals in the back of my head. Like, but we would all like a bigger house. We would all like to drive a nicer car. We would all like to take the family. And it's more for me, it's for the family. So happiness for me is being able to provide for my family and enjoy the time I spend with them. That now is what money, I set myself sort of 12 months ago. I said, right, I don't want to work for money anymore. I want to work because I enjoy what I do. And surely money will come as a result of that. Passion and drive to do, like, I love my job. I love what I do, but I didn't. 12 months ago, I didn't. So I stopped everything and was like, right, what do you want? How can you be happy? And then obviously I started the new company and did what I did. And now I'm happier than I feel that I've ever been in my life. I'm more present. I get to enjoy time and I get to spend more. I get to pick the kids up from school because I'm not in that retail space where the premises have got to be open from 7:30 till 5 with 2 or 3 staff.
Yeah. What do you do, mate?
So I sell luxury surface covering.
Right.
To high-end residential, commercial, hotels and things.
Yeah.
And I love creating beautiful spaces. And my 25 years of knowledge within the industry, I love sharing that with people.
Yeah. But even in the conversations we've had, Chris, Ash, you've got that entrepreneurial mind, haven't you?
100%. You're like that, on it.
It's like a washing machine. It honestly is. It's like when we spoke about doing this podcast, and my brain's going, okay, right, we can do that. Okay, well, we can help people. We can let's start a charity. And my brain's like, do. And that's one of my big downfalls because I spread myself too thin across lots. I built a podcast studio nearly 18 months ago with the goal to do exactly this, but on my own and get guests in. And it's sat here empty. We rent it out to a few local companies and stuff and help people. And it sat here. And I was literally, before you got in contact with me, I spoke to the team and we designed turning this into another area of the showroom and getting rid of the studio.
Yeah, you said. I mean, it's a hell of a story, isn't it? For anyone that believes in manifestation and exactly, and all that.
It was mad.
I literally was looking for a podcast studio in the area to interview you, Chris. And it was when I found this one. Yeah, and spoke to you. And we started chatting and you said, you said you'd built this podcast studio because you were fed up with business owners pretending everything's easy and a doddle and you could earn 10 grand a month. And I remember saying to you, have you listened to my show? Because I've been talking about that for 2 years. And then I interviewed Chris. Our mindset stuff came up, didn't it? And the feedback was you two should have your own podcast. Yeah. So we went out and got slaughtered and it all just fell into place. It was incredible how this all happened, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's madness, isn't it?
Because 6 months ago, none of us knew each other.
No.
Well,
2 months ago, I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. 2 months ago.
Well, about 10 minutes ago, I knew you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. And this is it. But I just think, like, we all sat down at the pub that day, had a couple of pints of Guinness, had a burger and whatever we ate. That's irrelevant.
I had a prawn salad, thank you very much. That's the last salad I had. I regret it instantly.
Mr. 5 a.m.
The 5/8 club.
And yeah, I don't know. We're all from different walks of life, but we all feel that. Like I feel, especially in the construction industry, I'm fortunate enough to have met some people that are trying to create a movement, and hopefully we'll get him on as a guest. I'm not name dropping it yet. We'll wait and see.
It's a big one.
And there is, I'm in this group on Facebook, and there is so many people in construction that are just literally getting up, going to work and going home, rowing, arguing, drinking. And we'll save it for another day, but relationships with alcohol is something that I don't have a problem with drinking. And I know I don't have a problem with drinking, but when I do drink, my brain goes even worse than it does now. Yeah. Normally at 4 o'clock in the morning when you've got a hangover and you're really, really like, I need some sleep, go away. But yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. And that's just like you, mate, wasn't it? Because it was mental health on the tools, wasn't it?
Yeah, construction's my background. I'm on site every single day of the week, and I mean, I try and talk to some of the guys on site. You know, like not for myself, but you can see people are struggling. You try and talk to them, and they just don't want to. They don't want to open up about anything. And then you say, "Well, why not?" And, well, no, I'm all right. I'm going to go to the toilet or whatever. It's rife. That's why I wanted to do the podcast for construction mental health. That was initially what I was going to do, wasn't it? But while working your own, if you can work in a team of 3, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And for me, say working class boy from Brighton, all of the troubles that you see growing up there. You guys would know how many boys from your area have died?
Loads,
right?
Yeah.
Loads. What happened there? Why are so many boys dying in working class estates? Anyway, never mind. That's a different conversation. But then public sector, all of that stuff, police officers, the struggles that the police go through the things that they see and the lack of support they get.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. And even in like civil service, the way I was treated, they claim to be really, really into your well-being, but companies don't give a shit about their workers anymore.
No, they don't. Everybody's jumping on this sort of woke bandwagon.
It's buzzword bollocks bingo, mate. That's all it is.
Yeah, they're all jumping on this. Oh yeah, but we've got to do this for the staff, and no, you don't. You don't need to. You're saying it to tick a box.
To be inclusive, yeah.
When it comes to it, you're not doing it.
No.
You're not helping your staff out. And I hear a lot of stories from people, especially sort of in the council and things. Oh, look at us. We're fantastic. We're doing this. We're doing that. No, you're not. You're saying you're doing it, but you're not actually doing it.
I remember one of the last days I was in my day job, I got a text message that a guy that I was going to go into business with died suddenly. He had liver failure, died suddenly. Just a message from his other half. And I was like, well, Jamie's been quiet these last few days. And there was a message from like his business partner, he's a nutritionist, saying, yeah, well, he was on dialysis. So was that liver or kidney? I can never remember dialysis. But anyway, but he had organ failure and died suddenly. And I broke down at my desk, and they had typical work. They had a well-being room that was like wallpaper of trees, like I'd walked into the fucking Lord of the Rings.
Panpipes in the background.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember sitting in there having a little cry, and then I got a knock on the door saying, Des, you coming back? I must have been in there 15 minutes. And I went, no, I'm going home. And it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, fuck that place. What's all that about?
It's, going back to my health scare in 2019, I had a couple of strokes. And the company I was working for, we just started on the job. I was probably there for about 2-3 weeks maybe. Was in hospital for a week. I literally had to go to work on the Friday morning. So I started driving my van having a stroke. Didn't realise I was having a stroke. Started losing my vision and everything. And then I ended up in hospital. First thing I said to my missus when she come to the hospital, you got to ring work. You got to tell them I'm not coming in because I had to get something done for the chippies to finish their job. She's rung the contractor. Oh, Chris is in hospital, blah, blah, blah. All right, I hope he's okay, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Next day, phone call. When's Chris coming back to site? Because we need to get the job started again. Otherwise, we'll have to get another contractor in.
Wow.
Next day.
Yeah.
How's your blood pressure?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like, people just don't, corporations, big companies, like, they don't care.
No.
It's all about the money.
Exactly. They say they do because at the executive board level, everything's sunshine and lollipops. But on the ground at the working level, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. But this is what we realised. So we got you guys from your background and me from my background, and we're all experiencing the same shit. And we all know people that have killed themselves, and we know people that are thinking of killing themselves. Or more importantly, there's people that are thinking of killing themselves that haven't told a fucking soul.
Yeah.
And this is what we want to do, just to raise awareness, even if we just shoot the shit about it.
Yeah, and and get people on that have been through. I went to there's a lady called Bianca who I went to a mind firm. I can't remember what it's called. God, we'll have to cut that bit out. I went to a seminar she did, and it was brilliant. And some of the people that came on stage and told their stories, had the whole audience, 500 people in the room, in tears.
Oh,
Like really, really proper. And one of them was Instagram celebrity, famous. He's in Dubai, he's on yachts and stuff. And he said the story, and he had it up on the projector. He said, right, look at all these pictures. I was in a worse state of my mind, but you wouldn't think that from these pictures. He said, I was suicidal. This was the real me. And he did a video of him lying in bed, like crying with his thing. I was like, Jesus Christ, it was really, really powerful.
This is one of the things, though. Human beings are the best at masking things.
Yeah.
How easy is it to make your face look different to being sad?
Yeah.
You know, exactly. That's a different story. That's one for another day.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, I've always masked everything. Even to this day now, I'll sit on the sofa and my missus will go, you're right. She knows I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, because she's been with me 15 years. But, you know, I'll go to work when I'm feeling terrible, and the way I get through my days is by having a laugh. That's always been the way.
Yeah.
That's why I got nearly booted out of school twice and didn't do any GCSEs and ended up working with my hands rather than my brain, because the easiest way that I could deal with everything that was going on in my life was to make people laugh and act like a cock. You know, and I still do it today because it's the way that I've trained myself to get through things. But when I sit on the sofa after work one night and I go, she knows.
Yeah.
What's up, babe? Nothing. Just I'll go quiet and I won't talk. 2 hours. That's the way I'm processing everything. And I've opened the lid of the box and I'm jangling it all around and I'm putting something over there and something over there, making a little bit more room for something else to go in there until eventually I've got a couple of hours on my own away from my family that I can sit there and think, right, how am I going to deal with that? Okay, how am I going to pay that bill? Right, what am I going to do about a little man's school fees and blah, blah, blah. And then you can work it all out and then it's done.
Yeah.
You know? But it's so easy for us humans just to pretend to be all right. And, you know, I'm doing stuff on TikTok and I'm not an influencer on TikTok. I'm the opposite side of things, doing TikTok shop and that. But all these influencers, everyone looks at them as if they've got this amazing lifestyle, and it is so bad.
They all get up at 5 a.m.
Especially, exactly that. You know, wearing dry robes and stuff like that. You know?
Reads 17 books a day.
But, you know, like the youngsters of today, I feel so sorry for them when they get to our age because their brains are going to be fried.
Yeah.
Because all they do is live on social media and they're looking at all these fantastic lives of people driving supercars and going to Dubai and having these big villas and parties and stuff. And I don't give a shit who you are or how much money you got. That is not your real life.
Exactly right, mate. And they're trying to grow up in a world where their version of sex is what they see on porno sites. You go, no, don't do it like that, mate, because it's not going to be. You're going to be let down.
Yeah, she might tell you to get out of the bedroom.
But the kids these days, mate, I truly worry about their.
My daughter is 11. She's so switched on. She's so clever. She's doing her SATs at the moment to go up to secondary school. And they called her parents in for a meeting about the SATs. It's not that. I'm like, but Daddy, I've got to pass it. I said, look, you will do amazing. Don't worry. And I think it's wrong because it's not an assessment. Let's be honest.
It's just another box ticks in.
It's not an assessment for the kids.
It's an assessment for the school on their bleeding league table.
The school.
Yeah, of course it is.
And the school's like, right, kids. And they put in so much pressure on a 10 and 11-year-old who are like the girls, they're probably going through puberty and stuff. And they've got so much going on. And then they've got to sit there and go through these tests. And they're like, okay, I get it. Life is hard. You're going to have pressure in your life. But if they went about it a slightly different way and said, look, we're going to have some tests, do your best, the kids wouldn't put so much pressure on themselves.
No.
They'd probably do better anyway.
And they'd probably do better.
The pressure they have at that age should be... I remember, because my daughter went through it last year, and I remember saying to her, do you remember what I remember about my SATs? Nothing, because it doesn't matter.
What girl you was going to kiss behind the bike sheet?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Any of them that let me. It was more the fact that the year before, they decided to split her class up, throw the whole year group into a melting pot and give everyone new classes. That was a bigger deal than the SATs for me, because it was right, okay, now you're throwing yourself in and you've got to make new friends again, which is more important as a kid to learn than a fucking memory test is what the SATs tests are, aren't they, really?
Yeah. Oh, you know, and it is. And I looked through some of the questions. She brought the mock books home. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you've got like 112 out of 115 here. And I'm going through these questions. I can't even read I don't even understand a question.
Yeah.
Let alone try and work out the answer stuff.
I'm dreading when Cruz gets to that age.
Oh, mate, honestly, my wife was a secondary school maths teacher, so we had mock tests up out of our eyeballs. So, yeah, that's exactly right. Will help.
But it's like you said earlier. You said how you didn't do any GCSEs, kicked out of school and stuff, but you're doing all right now.
Yeah. Yeah, listen...
He's the only one with a designer label in the room.
I've got. So the way I look at it, there's two different people in life. I'm sorry if this upsets anybody, but you've either got common sense or you haven't. If you've got common sense, that's all you really need in life.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
Or you could go and get loads of degrees and have no common sense and still not get anywhere.
The most successful guy that I know in my life, in my friend circle, he didn't finish school. He went out and he joined a firm doing recruitment, learned everything he needs to learn. Went off, he's a one-man band, hands down the most successful person I know, lives in a massive, beautiful house in Hove, everything that he ever wants. We went out a few weeks ago, and it's usually me and him left standing, because now we've got things in common that I run a business. And he still talks to himself as not being one of the least successful, because his school qualifications were bad. And his name's James. I was like, the fuck are you talking about? You're the most successful. But you hold yourself to this barometer that means nothing. But society's told us is the most important thing because you were 16. You're 44 now.
The problem is I'm lucky. Well, so my stepson's now 16. He's a good kid. He's very intelligent, but he don't fit inside the box. School wasn't doing anything for him. Now he's gone to college. He's gone to college early. The tutors have a bit of banter with him. They get him learning about forestry and mechanics and hands-on stuff. And he enjoys going. I mean, getting him up and getting him on the train for 2 hours every morning. But that's difficult for a 16-year-old.
Yeah, it's a long journey, that.
My 11-year-old daughter fits in the education box perfectly. She loves school. She loves learning. She's quiet. She's intelligent. Now, my 7-year-old, we're still trying to work out which way she's going to go. But already she's like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. No, I don't like school. And I reckon she won't fit the box. But the way society is the kids have like got to fit. It's almost like the schools and the government own your kids until they're 16.
It is.
And it infuriates me because, like, I mean, this is a topic for another day. I don't really want to get into politics. But as a parent, I want to my parents just moved to Spain. Now, I can't take weeks and weeks off of work. So the idea would be we'll do a lot of long weekends out there and go and see them. So Fridays and Mondays, the kids are going to be taken off school. Not every week, maybe once every 6 weeks, maybe once every 2 months. But I can't do that, really, because, their attendance is bad.
Yeah,
their attendance. Yeah, but she got 98% on her mock sats. Yeah, but attendance. It's all about attendance. And that's just another load of pressure that parents have got. You look at holidays.
We're going to have inset days here, there and everywhere.
Yeah. But you look at holidays. I mean, you want to go to, even you go to Butlins or something. You want to go tomorrow, it's $7.99 per person for a week. You want to go in the school holidays, it's $799 per person per week.
Tell me about it. So me and Claire was a secondary school teacher before we had any kids. We still couldn't take advantage of the decent holidays because she could only have holidays in bleeding school time. Then she quit being a teacher, but we got kids now, so we still got to have holidays in the bleeding school time. But there's no wonder that homeschooling's gone through the roof these last few years.
Oh, yeah.
People are waking up.
yeah.
I just can't be bothered, uncle.
Yeah, well,
Sounds like
I'm not clever enough. That's why I couldn't homeschool my kids.
The thing